Hour two, Big Skills National Football Show. Appreciate you guys coming aboard with us. Thank you very much. We're going to get more into the game on Sunday, but I'm looking for, let's see here, the defensive rookies of the year and candidates. Where are they here? I know Sauce Gardner's on. He's probably going to win it. Well, let me ask you this. What do you give Jordan Davis his rookie year? What grade would you give him? What grade would you give him? 13th pick in the draft. Shit, I personally think the kid down in Jacksonville had a great year as well. By the way, don't forget, Jaws will join us at 5:30 Eastern. What would you give him? A C? A 3? A C? Brian, to some extent, you're correct. Who? Jordan Davis was very limited as a contributor to this team this year for the 13th pick in the draft. I mean, he was very limited. And then some would go, well, he got hurt. Well, okay, I understand this. Okay, I get it. But his impact, when healthy, was it felt? A little. I'll give Davis a C. He dealt with injuries this year, but also didn't make the impact I thought he would. Yeah, but why would you think he'd make an impact when he never made an impact in Georgia? I think this guy's going to be a good ball player. Exceptional? Fletcher Cox? No. He doesn't have the skill set for it. He's not a pass rusher. He's never in his entire NFL career, well, it's limited, his college career, ever shown productivity. He is a combine freak show. Impact in the run game, he's a nose. So you drafted a guy with the 13th pick in the draft. You drafted a nose guard for the 13th pick. Didn't you at least, expect the guy to look a little bit like Fletcher? He's nothing like him. I mean, even in Fletcher's rookie year, you saw flashes of pass rushing. This guy's a non-pass rusher. Personally, I think he's going to be a good player. I don't think he's going to be exceptional. I don't think he's going to be exceptional. Now, let me do this. Let me do this. What pick was Vince Wilfork taken out of the University of Miami by the Patriots?
According to Wikipedia,
Wilfork was the 21st player taken. Let me see Vince's. Okay. Let me see Vince's stats. Vince Wilfork.
According to Wikipedia.
Let's go here with Vince. Let's go here with Wilfork. How many sacks he had in his career? 16 quarterback sacks. 12 fumble recoveries. That's who Fletcher Cox is, or that's who Jordan Davis is going to be. Somebody like that. Vince may make the Hall of Fame, by the way, because he played on teams that won Super Bowls. He's got 3 Super Bowls. Jordan Davis is not a disruptor. He never has been. Dude, he was the 4th guy in Georgia. The guys that are there now, the kid Clark or Carter, and the kid down in Jacksonville, Walker, those guys were the ballers. When he got to the combines and he put that freak show on where he ran that 4.78, no doubt. But 9 sacks in 43 games at Georgia. 13th player taken. marginal impact on this team. I'm not going to sit here and do this and call the guy a bust. I don't think he will be. I think he's too talented for that. But to sit there and tell me he's going to be Fletcher Cox, that's a reach. I don't think he's soft. I don't think he's soft, Justin. I just don't think he's very productive. He's never been. He's never fulfilled his ability. And it's playing kind of out a little bit. Now, it's young in the process. I want to go another 17 games before we even make more assessment on it. But so far this year, he's who he is. He hasn't changed that he has not changed my interpretation of who he is. He's not changed it at all. He's not an impact player. Okay? He's not. When I watch Sauce Gardner play, that's impact. Hey, by the way, let's see where Sauce Gardner went in the draft. What pick was Sauce Gardner taken by the Jets?
4 overall.
Okay, that's a high pick, and he's played into it. Hutchinson was a high pick, and he's played into it. Okay? He has. What's BS, Ray, about my assessment of Fletcher, or excuse me, of Jordan Davis? What's BS about it? Hey, Sil, so basically what you're saying is he's way too athletic and talented not to be effective in the pass rush. Is that correct? Yes. How can you run a 4.8 or a 4.78, be 340 pounds, and not ever bring any pressure on the quarterback? Okay? How's that? He had 9 sacks in almost 50 games at Georgia. He's not around the ball a lot. He's not around the ball. E-Kun goes, I never liked the pick. Listen, E-Kun, he's not going to be a bust. I don't think. I don't think, but he's kind of who I thought he was. He's not going to change that narrative on who he is. Do you think he lacks the pass rush moves? I think he lacks the conditioning, Tone, to be a good pass rusher. You got to be a really good conditioned player to be a pass rusher. That's why he has low numbers in that area, tackles for loss, and also in sacks. Okay? In my opinion, that's the big deal there for me, is the fact that, for me, I think he struggles mightily because of his conditioning. Okay? I do. I think he struggles because of conditioning. I apologize, guys, for the internet. We're having all kinds of issues out here in SoCal with it, though. So I appreciate you guys hanging with me. Thank you so much. I'm going to move off, and I'm going to get more into the games here in a second here. But just want to tell you again that I expect to see more from him next year. And I'm hoping to God that the guy decides to take his thing a little bit more serious when it comes to getting himself in better shape. Okay? He's going to be Linval Joseph. I hope 13th pick. That's not cutting it. Okay? That is not cutting it when it comes to that. You got to get more out of that 13th pick than it being Linval Joseph. So, Dan, thoughts on Jalen Hurts winning the 64th Burt Bell Professional Player of the Year award today? Great award for him. Congratulations. It's a tremendous award. My uncle won it. He won the Burt Bell. My uncle won that. I believe my uncle won it in 63. If I'm not mistaken. I think it was 1963 he won that award. Jaws won that award too, by the way. We're going to have him on 5:30 Eastern time too. So, again, guys, I appreciate it. I'm sorry about the internet. We're having all kinds of issues with it today. It was actually off. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to do a show today too. So, Tone's working with me here, so thank you so much. Yeah, Yale, that was like Yale. The Burt Bell Award is one of the very first awards that was given to players, and it's an MVP award. And it was one of the most prestigious awards, okay, back in the day. Jim Brown won it in 63. Just tell me the year Robustelli won it. Maybe it was 60. I don't know. Maybe he won it in 60, the year Robustelli won it, okay? Andy won it, I believe, in 60. 62. Thank you, Maniac. And I think Jaws won it in 80. I think Jaws won it in 80, if I'm not mistaken. So let's move on here. By the way, assistants of the year. D'Amico Ryans, D coordinator, San Francisco. So the head coach is up for the coach of the year, and the D coordinator is up for the assistant coach of the year award. What staff do you favor going into that NFC title game on Sunday? High School Nick or Kyle Shanahan's guys? High School Nick versus Kyle and the pros. 62, thank you, Paul. And Ben Johnson. I think Ben's going to get an opportunity to be a coach somewhere in the NFL. He's the offensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions. They got some great things. I'll tell you this, man. They got some really great things going on in Detroit. And Shane Steichen. That's right. Scott and Shane Steichen. You got Steichen, D'Amico Ryans, and Ben Johnson are finalists for the Assistant Coach of the Year award. Let's go here. And then I'm going to get into my top 10. Who's done the best job as coordinators on this team? Gannon or Steichen? Sills, AJ or Deebo? By this much, AJ. By that much. How about this? And I said this yesterday, and I think, Tone, you agreed. My opinion, I think Deebo Samuel is the better player. AJ's the better receiver. Okay? He's the better receiver. Deebo does so much stuff, though, man. I mean, they don't – and again, I don't know if AJ can't do that, too. It's just that the Eagles don't ask him to. Okay? Seals, who you got Sunday? I got the Eagles. I got the Eagles winning Sunday. Hey, Tone, was that you that was talking about the draft from 2017? It was that the draft they went in? DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel, and A.J. Brown all went in the second round. Greatest wide receiver second round has to be in pro football history. Has to be. Has to be. Has to be the greatest wide receiver draft of all time. Yes, sir. Also, I was looking up the numbers today for both of them, and when it comes to a total yards from scrimmage and total touchdowns, AJ edges out Deebo. And again, this is probably why I say, and you know what? Outside of this year, AJ really didn't have a lot of numbers. They were pedestrian in Tennessee. But when you have pedestrian numbers in Tennessee, when you got Derrick Henry in the building, there probably should have been accentuated more. I don't think he ever had over 68 catches when he was in Tennessee. They weren't eye-numbing numbers. I think he had 1 year where he had 11 touchdowns or something like that. But outside of that, they were not mind-numbing numbers in Tennessee. They just weren't. Samuels had all numbers in San Francisco. Yes, last year he was 1,400 yards, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Who's done a better job assistant coach-wise this year for this team? Gannon? And watch this. You're probably going to be shocked when I say this. Gannon figured out Hassan Reddick. Gannon figured out Hassan. He figured him out. That's got to say something. Two teams prior couldn't figure him out. Arizona and Carolina. They couldn't figure him out. Okay? Yeah, Yale, they both have talent on both sides. The talent on defense, though, I don't think is the talent on offense. See, to me, Shane Steichen's not, I don't look at him as a good coordinator. I look at him as a good orchestrator. And follow me when I say this. He's not making the play calls out there. Jalen is. How's that an offensive coordinator? Now, he's got great trust in Jalen to make the right decision. Jalen's the decision maker in this process, not the coordinator. The coordinator showed us who he was when he handed the playbook to Gardner Minshew. And he handed the same playbook, running RPOs in the New Orleans game. And we were all going like this. What? What are you talking about? Why would you do that? That's why I have a problem with Shane's offensive approach. He's relying on his quarterback. Now, that could be why you're seeing a lot of these millennial guys getting these head coaching jobs. And you're not seeing guys like Eric Bieniemy anymore and these personality guys get these jobs because they're tailor-making. Look, follow me here because I want to give Shane all the kudos I can possibly here, okay? Maybe this is the new wave of coaching. Shane Steichen looks at I didn't really think about it until right now, but you tell me if you agree or disagree, because maybe I'm looking at Shane and Gannon from a different context here. And I'm looking too old school on it. Okay? Steichen's going to look at the personnel he has around him. This is why Sirianni handed the play calling to him. Because Shane created an offensive attack based on Jalen's decision-making. Is that fair? He's not going to call plays. He's going to call plays that are designed for the strength of Jalen Hurts and his decision-making. Would we not agree one of the greatest assets that Jalen Hurts has is his decision-making? And here's something else to think about in San Francisco. Kyle tells Brock Purdy where to throw the ball. Now, the skill set of the player has to execute the play. But Kyle has a designed play. He has more guardrails. And Kyle, like his father, has a set of guardrails for his quarterbacks all the way back to Elway. This is what made Elway a great player, is because when he went from Dan Reeves to Kyle Shanahan, he kept Elway more in a box. And that's why he started winning, because they started creating a running attack around him. And once they started creating a running attack around Elway, they won. Okay? They won. I think the biggest asset, besides the skill set of the player in Jalen Hurts, is that his decision-making, and here, follow me when I say this to you on his decision-making. The lack of turnovers, I probably should have went down this way, and I probably should have been saying this earlier. It wasn't important how many touchdown passes Jalen Hurts had. It was more important for this offense this year not to have a boatload of turnovers. And that's why they've won all these games. They didn't win these games because Jalen threw for a ton of yards. Look at the last game, 154 yards, very pedestrian. But they didn't turn the ball over. They're 10 of 13 on third down. They play mistake-free football. That's why I say sometimes it's boring, okay? Because it's mistake-free. You're not going to see gaudy numbers. Jalen Hurts doesn't put up gaudy numbers. He puts up a collective number, and we all look at it and go, 175 yards or 100 yards rushing, 250 yards passing. All together, man, it's impressive. But they're not gaudy numbers. Look at it. Like, if you looked at his box line this year, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 3,700 yards, 400 and some odd yards, or 400 and some odd attempts. It's not gaudy like we see some of these other guys. But as a collective decision making, see, what I'm trying to say is his yards matter more than Kirk Cousins' numbers because they're all meaningful yards. They're all meaningful yards because they dominate teams and win ball games. It's a pretty, I got to tell you, man, these coordinators really trust him. Okay? Yeah, but Yale, Andy puts Mahomes in a position to succeed. Andy's the best play calling head coach. I'm trying to think if there is a better play calling head coach in NFL history. I'm trying to think. Bill Walsh. Here's who Andy Reid is. Bill Walsh. Bradshaw called his own plays. Landry called Staubach's plays. Turner called Aikman's plays. I'm trying to think of a head coach that has been a better play caller than Andy. Now, we can all debate his clock management. His clock management and shit is to be desired. I'm talking Andy Reid. Bill Belichick is not a offensive play calling head coach. He doesn't call plays. Scott says, so does Shane Sileo, do you think Hurts plays to his strengths? They take organizations and football intelligence. I think that's exactly what has gone on here. The more they realized how smart Jalen was and how great his decision-making was, the more confidence they had in giving him the ability to go on with a play or off with a play. Those RPOs, man, are not designed from the sidelines. That's Jalen with quick – dude, his reaction time on figuring out whether or not the RPO is going to work, whether you hand it off or take it or throw it, it's exceptional. Yeah, it's boring. Yeah, it's boring. It's boring. I don't care what you say, vet. It's boring. Patriot, Shane Steichen has done a great job with Jalen. He has. You know what, too, Patriot? Do you know what probably one of the coolest things is? He gets out of the way. They stay out of the way. Like, there's not bitching, and there's some of it, but there's not like throwing, there's not like throwing. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Trexler, Fox don't think shit of you. Okay? They always put the Cowboys and Niners on in prime time. They had you on a Saturday night. They put that Cowboy 49er game on primetime Sunday night. Dude, they were running promos the last week of the season. Cowboys are fighting for the NFC East. I went like this. Really? All they got to do is beat the Eagles. I mean, all they got to do is beat the Giants and it's over. What are the Cowboys fighting for? Cowboys? I was like, so Fox is running promos selling bullshit that the Cowboys still had a shot at winning the NFC East in the last game of the season against Washington. I was like this. When did that happen? Eagles aren't losing to New York. But in Fox's eyes, they had to put a good promo up. That was the national game. It wasn't the Eagles and Giants. It was Washington and Dallas. That was the national game. But I don't give a shit about Fox. Dude, that's why they think you're boring. You missed the whole thing. I'm in Philly, man. What are you talking about? Dude, maniac, I get it. You got a 14-win team, and you're airing the Cowboys, and you know they were going to get beat by the Niners. Well, and everyone's like this. Well, they had a chance to beat San Francisco. No, they didn't. Because cowboy people do cowboy things. Okay? Like I told you before, they should be called the Dallas Chernobyls. There's always a nuclear meltdown. They had two passes and interceptions in the end zone. Really? Very cowboy-like. Okay? Very cowboy-like. They had no chance of beating San Francisco. Why? Because they're the Dallas Chernobyls. Dallas had every chance. No, they didn't. Next year will be 28 years. Then the year after that will be 29 years. Then it'll be 30 years. Do you know the Cowboys have the longest run for a team making the playoffs not to get to an NFC championship game of any team in NFL history? It's been almost 30 years. Hey, this is not America's team. Tone, may I please say what the Cowboys are? The Cowboys are not America's team. The Cowboys are America's tease. Okay? Just remember that. They're America's tease. They tease their fans and they tease football fans. That's who they are. America's tease. Very entertaining, though. Very entertaining. Why are we talking about Dallas? Because I felt like it. All right, let's move on again and go to the top 10. Eagles, Bengals, 49ers, Chiefs. The top 10 teams with the final four. Here they are. By the way, don't forget Ron Jaworski will be with us 5:30 Eastern time. Okay? Newsflash, we're Philly and nobody likes us and we don't care. Newsflash, Joseph. I'm Big Sills. Nobody likes me, and I don't give a shit. Gee, sounds like we're fit for one another. Joseph, do you understand what you just said? That's why you love Big Sills. Okay? Right there, Joseph. You finally have cracked the Da Vinci Code. Newsflash, Joseph. I'm Big Sills. Nobody likes me, and I don't give a shit. This is why you like me, Joseph. Man, boy, I'll tell you, man, Philadelphia's got some great fans. San Francisco's got – I'll tell you this, that San Francisco fan base, man, is pretty strong. Here are my favorite fan bases. Buffalo, Chicago, San Francisco, Philadelphia. Packer fans are kind of weird. It's kind of weird. I don't know. It's like weird. Steeler fans are great. Okay, they're maniacs themselves. Nothing out of LA. I would say this, San Francisco's probably the best fan base. Denver has a good fan base. The Bronco country guys are pretty cool. Kansas City, too. Kansas City's got some great fans. That's why I said when I opened the show, you got the conference championship games in Philadelphia and Kansas City. Dude, you can't have better cities, in my opinion, hosting conference title games. Love you too, Cody. Thank you, man. That's cool. Okay. Cal, look at Cal. Packer fans eat chili spaghetti. What? Chili spaghetti. I'm out. Hey, that's like my wife's mom. She said that she makes the greatest meatballs on the planet and spaghetti. And I'm like, no, I'm out. No, it's not going to work. She's a white chick. And so like, right. And so she's like, oh, I make the greatest spaghetti. And I looked at Kim and I go, Kim, your mom's a white chick. She's not Italian. Okay. She said, white chicks don't make good spaghetti. Okay. My girlfriend at the time, she's like, what? I'm like, yeah, man. No. I'm not a white guy. I'm an Italian guy. Okay? There's a difference, Junior. Okay? Italians ain't white guys. We're Italians. Oh, white Italian. There ain't no such thing, dog. Read a book. I'm not a white guy. I'm an Italian guy. Yeah, Brandon, you keep telling yourself that. You obviously don't know Italians. Okay? You obviously don't know us. My Italian wife agreed. White chicks don't make good spaghetti. I've never been in a white chick's house that made good spaghetti. You have to be an Italian. I would never eat meatballs or spaghetti sauce at a restaurant or out anywhere outside of my aunt and my wife. Okay? Like I got a French aunt named Francette, who's lovely. My aunt's watching this. I'd never eat her spaghetti sauce. And I love her. Bruce, you're a Mexican guy? I'll tell you what, man. Big Sills likes Mexican, Cuban, Italian, and Chinese. Okay? It's seafood, obviously, number one. Yeah. Hey, get this. You're Mexican? I never ate Mexican food until I met my wife, when I met her in Dallas. I never ate Mexican food. I love it. Man. I love it. It's great. I love Cuban food, though, too, man. Being down in Miami all them years. Big Seals, what's your favorite Chinese food? General I like lobster sauce with I like lobster sauce over some fried rice, shrimp. I love squid. I'm a big squid eater. I love squid. I love anything seafood. Who has a bigger impact in the game, Sills? Bosa or Reddick? I bet it'll be Reddick. 2 less sacks, but 3 more. Who's Reddick? You think they're going to put Reddick? Will they put Reddick over Trent Williams? And will they put Bosa over Lane? That might nullify both pass rushers. Oh my God, Cody, my wife got pupusas. I've tried them. Excellent. Won't that nullify? And if that's the case, that favors Philly, in my opinion. That favors Philly. Because if you nullify Nick, 49ers don't really have pass rushers down the line like the Eagles do. The Eagles have 4 guys over 10 sacks. I think that favors Philly. That's why I think San Francisco's got to move him around more, man. I don't think you can line him up. You line him up over Lane and nullify him, dude, you don't have enough pass rushers in that defense. Vet goes, Bosa hasn't done anything. Well, they did play a decent team. You played a shitbox Giants team. So before you start waving a flag for Hassan Reddick, let's see what he does in the 49er game. The Giants and the Bucs should not have been in the playoffs. They were terrible teams. Seattle was better. Okay? Seattle was better. Okay? Seattle was better. All right, I'm going to take a timeout. Don't forget, and I'm going to go through the top 10 teams. Okay? I'm going to go through the top 10 teams, and we will do that. Also, Jaws is going to join me at 5:30 Eastern time. Please hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.